Welcome back to the morning news. Cheryl Bernard is with us, of course, silver medalist from Vancouver in 2010. How are you? Nice to see you.
Doing well, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
And she did bring in the medal. I'll just hold it up.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to?
You can touch it.
Can I even put it?
It's not like the Stanley Cup. No, it's not. I let everybody.
Well, I'll probably.
It's great, eh?
Wreck my microphone.
They're a lot heavier than you think, aren't they?
Yeah, they're like close to a pound.
There it is.
Yeah. There's the medal. I love the design, though. It's really neat, isn't it?
It is. It's really unique. I said if I won a medal, I wanted all of it. The ones they did with the hole in the middle. It's like, I know I want the whole medal.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I don't know if you want the one with the hole in the middle.
No.
That was a little weird, for sure. But these were, everyone we talked to, they loved them, that's for sure.
Really?
So let's talk about you now coming up for this season. You've got a new team together. You kept your third, and then you made a couple of changes. So why the need to make a change in your team?
You know, sometimes it's what you need to do is sports, and I think we all talked about, could we go on and do the same thing again? And we decided that probably the best thing to do is let everybody go on and move forward and try some different things. And it's brought back excitement for Susan and I, because the two new players, Jennifer and Laurie, are so into it and so excited. And so we're working again to rebuild, which is really good.
So what do you take from that experience in 2010 then as you move forward to 2014?
You know, I think a lot of the training, the experience just to get to an Olympics, to compete at a medal level, I think moving forward, it just gives you that advantage over so many teams that have never been there heading to Russia. Explain
a little bit about how when you go to put a team together, like obviously you and Susan O'Connor have sort of a sixth sense together because you played together for so long. When you add a new team member, what are you looking for in your lead and your second?
You know, I think the biggest thing that we learned from our Olympic team is how important teamwork is and how important support was for each other. So that was the number one thing we looked for, is could these two new people, Laurie and Jen, support the other two of us and all of us together on a team. Chemistry, work ethic is huge. Self-evaluation, you got to be able to walk off an event and say, you know, I didn't do this well and I need to work on this, and brutally honest. You have to be honest.
Because a lot of people think because you're playing lead that, you know, your role is not as important as a, you know, throwing skip rocks or thirds, but the lead can really set up a whole end for you. It's very important.
There's more pressure on her. I don't know if I'd want to play lead. There's more pressure on her. You know, she has to set the end up. I said, you call the game more than I call the game, because if she chooses to let a guard slide in, well, the end is totally different than what we would have originally planned.
What has this last year and a half been like since the Olympics? I mean, obviously you're sort of in a cloud, I imagine, immediately afterwards. But just talk about how the last couple years have been.
It's, you know, it's something you don't plan for as an athlete. You just you want to excel in your sport and do really well. So I think mostly it's going out and being known and people coming up to you, and it's been great, but it's a little different to always be sitting somewhere and somebody come up and just want to say congratulations or wanted to ask a question about curling. It's something you don't plan for and you don't know much about, and so that's been the different. But I've enjoyed it. I think it's been great. It's opened a lot of doors. I've met some amazing people. I think that's been the most amazing part of the Olympics, is the doors that it's opened and the people I've met.
What do you think it's done for the sport of curling itself? Because it used to be, you know, people would get really excited around the major championships, obviously, the Scott and on the men's side, the Briar. But now there's actually a curling season where you can do it full time. You don't have to have a second job, and you can work on training and getting ready for those major events.
Right. Well, I think, you know, one of the big things with the sport I noticed in the Olympics was it's moved, the physical fitness of the curlers keeps improving, and you know, John Morris, Ben Hebert, Mark Kennedy, Kevin Martin, they're in great shape. Our women's team worked very hard to be at the upper level of our game. We rely on a lot of our sponsors to help us with that and to move forward, and I think that's making some younger kids stand up and go, you know what, it's not an old person's game. It's a tough game. It's physically hard and it's physically demanding, and so they're lining up to play the sport.
It's physically demanding. I was telling Cheryl during the break that the one and only time I've tried to curl, I was very sore the next day. I didn't realize that would happen.
This Sierra Sil from our sponsor would help you immensely if you tried that. It would help.
We want to mention your book. It's called Between the Sheets, and it's available, and you've updated it with the Olympic stuff as well.
We have.
So that's cool. I noticed that you signed this one as well, which is really nice. Can we give this one away?
You can so.
Good, let's do that. Morning news at globaltv.com. Just send us an email and put curling in the subject line, and we'll give you an autographed copy of Cheryl's book, Between the Sheets. So
excellent. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, well, now we're looking for a gold medal.
Okay.
Silver's taken care of, now we need gold.
All right.
You'll have quite a collection.
I'd like to have them all.